Alright, are you recording?
Yes, I am.
Okay, cool. Hey, welcome to episode 16 of Did You Watch Survivor last night? My name's Jake Scheidel. On the show, I asked my good buddy Thomas Powell if he did indeed watch Survivor last night. However, Survivor is currently not on the air, so we are instead talking about MTV's The Challenge. I'm FaceTiming with Thomas right now. He's drinking a tall jug of chocolate milk. How you doing over there, Thomas?
Oh, I'm great. Anytime I've got
Good.
some sweet choco milk, I'm feeling all right.
I don't think chocolate milk is supposed to be sweet.
So, what?
I think, shouldn't it be more like savory? Like, there's certainly a sweetness to it, but I think...
I mean, it is a chocolate-infused beverage. Chocolate is sweet. What is so hard about this?
But
It's definitely not... Savory implies that it's, like, salty.
does it? Is that what savory means?
I think more in that realm of taste, yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the milk overpowers the chocolate in chocolate milk. You know?
It's,
I
like,
wouldn't-
rich.
like, if it-
Is, like, rich the word that you're looking for?
Yeah. I think that might be the word I'm looking for. How are you doing, Thomas?
Oh, I'm doing all right.
That's good to hear. So just quick question for you. Did you watch the challenge last night?
Jake, let me tell you, I fully intended to watch both episodes of the challenge that aired this week.
Yes, there were 2 this week.
But as I have a strict policy of not watching anything ever when it airs, the only thing I will watch live is live sporting events. I went to check my Xfinity account, because typically you can stream episodes through that, and they have everything but the most recent 2 episodes, so I could not watch it.
Well, that is unfortunate, because there were 2 very good episodes. The first episode was called A House Divided, which you will understand why later that is not what the episode should have been called. I will explain when that comes up. Well, you see, the house, it becomes divided. So
you could
they
say it's
called
a
the
house
episode.
divided.
You could say it's a house divided. So the episode starts with them after the challenge. The blue team had lost the challenge once again. And Corey mentions that they need to get rid of the Veterans Alliance, which at this point seems like it's just Bananas and Nany. I don't know if you picked up on that during the one episode you've watched so far. But this Veterans Alliance everyone's afraid of is, there's not a lot of people in it. You know?
Yeah. Wait, not to interrupt your flow, but didn't the episode we watched last end on a cliffhanger and we didn't know who got eliminated?
Yeah, that's where it is right now.
Oh, okay.
So they just won, the red team just won, what was that? Was that the trivia one?
It was the trivia challenge, yes.
Yeah. So they're all standing there at the end of the challenge, and that's how the episode starts. And Abram mentions that he's been trying to get everyone to think he's crazy for the longest time, and it's worked. I guess this has been his strategy since his first season.
It's a real long con.
It's an incredibly long con that seems like not a real thing. Seems like they just came up with it on the spot in this interview, but I guess if Abram wants everyone thinks Abram is insane because he is an insane person. That's what it seems like to me. He also is not a fan of bananas. He has mentioned that he wouldn't lose sleep if
it's a
bananas...
lower tier fruit. I definitely agree.
I like bananas. The bananas are one of my favorite fruits.
I mean, they are rich in potassium. I don't really care for them. Something about the texture.
I think they're pretty sweet in potassium. You don't like the texture of bananas?
No, I don't.
Why not? They're soft.
It's hard to describe why you don't like the texture of something. Like, I think it's just like I don't know, it doesn't feel good in my mouth. Would give the mouth feel like a 4.
I mean, that's a pretty solid reason to not like something.
Yeah. It's like, I don't enjoy the way that it caresses my mouth.
That's fair. Yeah, I feel the same way about, like, blueberries. I don't like blueberries. I really like the taste, but and strawberries, too. Great taste. Just
less filling.
Great taste, less filling, exactly. They're the Miller Lite of fruits. Was it them? Was it Miller Lite that did those?
Yeah, it is. So they're the Miller Lite of those fruits, and that they're a bad version of the thing that they are. So Miller Lite is a bad Pilsner, and that's a bad berry.
Do you think... I never really realized that there were, like, specific types of beer when it was, like, Miller Lite and Bud and all that. Like, I never thought of them as any... It's beer. Yeah.
It's much the same way that people are like, it's just like white or red wine.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. That's a thing I want. I want a nice white wine.
What the hell is a Malbec? Or Sauvignon Blanc.
What are all of these letters? I don't know who this is an impression of. A person who is stupid?
Yeah, a person who doesn't know anything about... Some idiot that doesn't know anything about wine.
Yeah. So, did I mention, or did we skip over this? Abram mentions that he wouldn't mind, or he wouldn't lose sleep if bananas were to fall off a cliff.
What? That's a very specific thing.
It was in a talking head, I think.
I wouldn't lose sleep if bananas fell into a trash compactor. I wouldn't lose sleep if bananas slipped and fell in the shower and killed himself.
Abram hates bananas. Both the food and the person.
I just want a shot of him when they're talking about this. He's like, I don't like Johnny. I don't like bananas, and it just cuts to him holding a picture of Johnny Bananas and a banana and shaking his face.
He squashes the banana so that the inside comes out of the peel.
Yeah, and then throws the picture against the wall. He's like, no bananas.
the piece of paper he throws at the wall, so it just kind of flips in the air and falls to the ground.
He's like, I don't see your appeal.
I guess you're kind of charming if you're not paying attention. So the blue team, who has lost, goes into deliberation, and Mike volunteers himself. He's like, hey, I haven't been here as long. Let me show you guys I'm here for the long run. But Nany isn't having it. She wants Rafi out because Rafi voted for her last elimination. So, you vote for me, I vote for you, that kind of thing.
Eye for an eye.
Eye for an eye. Nany for a Naneye. Yep.
Well, we've had a good run here.
Those are words that I said.
We've had a good run here, but I think it's time that we end the podcast forever. All right, bye. Thanks for listening,
Great.
everybody.
Right.
Have a great
See
forever
ya.
summer.
I wish. So Nany says that she wants to surprise the beefcakes, which is what I call Rafi and Dario, with the vote, so that they can feel the same way that she did when they said her name. I don't get why Nany thinks that she's so important. Like, how dare you say my name? What? That's part of the game, Nany.
You did. It's like, I've never understood anyone taking that super personal. It's like somebody has to get voted off. Like, that's just how it goes.
Yeah. So Thomas tells Cara and Maria that they might want to send in Jamie. And then another thing... Sorry, are you right underneath the staircase?
Am I what?
Are you right underneath the staircase? I can hear I don't know.
I'm in the basement, so it's people walking.
Oh, so that's just people above you.
walking on the floor above me. This is making riveting podcasting right now.
I don't know if the audio.
Yeah, in case anyone didn't know, I'm in a basement in an undisclosed location.
Yeah, I've
already said too much.
So Thomas tells Kara that they might send in Jamie, her cousin. And then another thing he says to Kara, or about Kara, is that they were vibing. What a great word. They were vibing with each other.
I felt like we really vibed at that Sublime concert last night. while they were playing Santeria.
Is Sublime the one with the dude who died?
Yeah,
I guess that's every band. But...
I was going to say that there are a lot of bands where a guy died, but yes, they're the one that you're thinking of.
And now they're Sublime with Rome. That's what they call themselves. My old roommate was really into them. Because my old roommate was
Sublime or Sublime with Rome?
Both, I think.
Oh, okay.
He came back one night and was like, oh, I was at the Sublime with Rome concert. And I was like, you need to not live here anymore.
On purpose? Were you held there against your will? It's a good thing you escaped.
Yeah. So Banana says that he's never seen so many newbies in the house, and he wants to get rid of them. But also, at least half the cast is newbies. Like, that's the whole point of the show. So of course there's going to be what are you talking about, Bananas? I don't get it. So his plan is to vote in.
Smart.
Ooh, you're onto something there. I really want to see one of these people end up on Survivor and just see how they do.
They leave in 1 week.
Yeah.
This is really hard. Why isn't everyone fucking?
Sometimes. It happens sometimes. Robin, Amber, you know them.
Yeah.
They met on All Stars, and then they got married. At one time, Rob, they had a plastic boat, like a raft kind of thing, that Rob filled up with ocean water for them, and then let it sit out in the sun all day, and turned it into a hot tub for him and Amber to hang out in. Pretty smooth move.
Yeah, it's very romantic.
It's very well. When your options are sand and water, yeah, I think it's a decent move.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good move. They got married, so
in some hot,
doing something right.
Water.
Mm-hmm. So I like it. So Bananas agrees to vote in Mitch, so that in the elimination it will be Mitch and Rafi, and that way, they get rid of one of the rookie teams no matter what. So everybody's talking shit about the beefcakes, which is mostly deserved because they're dumb.
Because they're dumb.
Dumb.
They're like a couple.
They're real dumb.
Like a couple of Gronkowskis. They're just dumb as a bag of rocks.
When a house full of dumb people says you're dumb, you gotta be pretty dumb.
Yeah, even grading on that curb, you are dumb.
Yeah. The Kellyanne sticks up for them and says that they're very nice and very nice to women, which seems unlikely. I don't believe that at all.
I mean, it would be great if they were, but I also am a bit skeptical of that.
Yeah. I mean, we're
they just
judging
don't seem
them
like the type.
Yeah. Yeah. So Banana says that they are lame, which I would agree with. They are very lame people. So nice, though. So very nice. But very dumb and very lame. So Kellyanne suggests that they vote for Mike because it would be easy. But elsewhere, Corey, Mitch, and the Beefcakes realize that in order for their alliance to survive, they need to get Anissa to vote for Mike. So one of them has to talk to her. Now, you know the story of Cornisa, right? That was a thing that's been talked about.
No, I was on that. That was the one episode that I watched.
Yeah. So they've had their history, but they're not really talking right now. So the four rookie guys are trying to figure out who is going to be the one to go try to sway Anissa's vote. And they're all like, I don't want to do it. I don't really want to do it. And that was was really liking Corey, you know? He was kind of a dummy, but he was still nice. And it was really surprising to me because he kind of seemed like a misogynistic pig, but these first couple episodes he's been pretty cool, right? Like we can agree on that. He's been all right. Well, he says, well, they're talking about who's going to go talk to Anissa. Corey's like, I don't want to talk to that bitch, which not a very nice thing to say.
No.
But, you know, he's upset, so, like, I kind of get where he's coming from. Still not a great thing to say about someone, but, okay, like, you can get over that. But then he said that Anissa will gravitate toward any man who shows her any attention. Like, what? What are you talking about? As I wrote, you're bad and wrong and I don't like you anymore. But because he has the best relationship with Anissa, they pick him to go talk to her. And after Corey explains the situation to Anissa, she's like, oh yeah, I'll think about it. And then when we get to the nomination part of the episode. The blue team votes first, and the votes are between Mike, who volunteered to go in, and Rafi, who just annoys everyone in the house. That's why they're voting him in. So it's 4 for Mike, and Rafi has 5. And Mike is the last person to vote. So, you know, if it comes down to Mike, it could be like, oh, hey. Or if it's 5-5, Mike could be like, hey, don't worry about it, I'll go in, no prob. But he's not a complete idiot, because he votes for Rafi, and Rafi goes in. This is when it gets crazy. Like, after this point, these are some great episodes. When Nany votes for Rafi, she gives this little monologue, because, you know, she's the all-important Nany. And she tells Rafi that she owes him nothing. And Rafi is like, oh, well, my role isn't to suck up to you and bananas, so what are you talking about? And then the red team votes, and Mike gets 4 votes again, whereas Mitch gets 6, so it's Mitch versus Rafi, which is what was expected. But throughout the voting process, I lied earlier. 30 seconds ago when I said it got crazy, I was wrong. This is when it gets crazy. Throughout the voting process, Nany is bickering with Dario and Rafi, and she keeps saying, like, know your role. And Dario keeps coming back at her like, there are no roles.
She's the Rock?
Yeah.
Little jabroni.
Yeah. So they go back and forth. Know your role. There are no rules. Know your role. And then Dario goes, the only role is on Johnny's lap. And everybody's like, oh, whoa, shots fired, you know?
Man.
Yep.
You need a lifeguard for that burn?
Yeah. Yeah, because sunburns. You get sunburns when there's a lifeguard around. They've got burn cream.
Yeah. They also have trained to treat burns, I think.
Are they? Why would they need that?
One of our friends in high school would always say that. And we were like,
oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's like, it's more like ice for that burn, but like, okay.
Also, you're not supposed to put an ice on a burn. It, like, shocks your system or something.
Oh.
It's supposed to run it under warm water.
So if someone ever asks you that, I'll be like, no, I don't. It would shock my system.
Come back for the comeback.
How do you feel about that now? I'd be like, do I hate you?
I don't. That's fine, I guess. Thanks for the information. So, when Anissa votes for Rafi, Kellyanne kind of mutters to her, like, oh, you do whatever they tell you. And Anissa's like, shut up. You know how people talk to each other.
Yeah. They're always doing it.
They're always doing it. And then when Bananas goes to vote, he says, I wish I could have voted in Rafi because some people need to know their role. You get it? You hear it? Know their role? This episode should have been called Know Your Role. That's what I'm getting at. Shouldn't have been called A House Divided. Should have been called Know Your Role. So Dario doesn't take too kindly to Bananas saying that about Rafi. So he just mouths to Bananas, "Show me." Like they're gonna fight. Like, okay. I see why everybody's telling you to know your role, because you need to calm down.
Yeah.
So...
Shut your mouth!
They finish their voting and start walking back to the house, and Dario, gets up in Banana's face and starts shouting at him and Nany, and Nany starts shouting back. And this is the main reason I'm upset that you missed this episode, because they have a shot of TJ in the background of all of this going on, and he's just kind of nodding.
He's like, yeah, okay.
He's just nodding with a slight grin.
Like, yeah, no,
just enjoying the hell out of this.
Good. He pulls up a chair.
This is fun. Yeah. Let's see. Where are we? So they're back in the house. Anissa says that when she was voting, she looked at Bananas, and Bananas looking at her like a disappointed father. And then, okay, here's a thing that also happened. In the other room, Rafi is all mad about Nany voting for them, and it's like, Nany's getting real close. Like he wants to hit her or something. And Corey and Dario both look at him like, what are you talking about?
No, but he respects women, remember?
He's really nice to women. One of them is just like, you can't do anything. Like, why are you so mad about this? You can't, you have no reason to go after her, and what are you going to do if you can? So, Corey goes over to Anissa, and tells her that he is disappointed, and she just goes, well, yeah, you should be. Cool. But she'll gravitate toward any man who shows her any attention, remember?
Got her eaten out of the palm of his lap.
Yep. Oh, don't worry, there's more about those two later in the episode. In another room, Nany is talking to Nicole and brings up the car Maria Abram Thomas thing. And Bananas says, I'm scared and I have nothing to do with it. And then, it's been a little bit of time since we've seen these people go out clubbing, So why not do that?
I mean, it seems like a good time. Emotions are running high. Let's throw some alcohol in there. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Let's all go to a really loud, dark room and drink a lot of alcohol. What could go wrong?
This should resolve any tensions that are.
Oh yes, definitely.
Going on.
So the rookie guys are making fun of Nany's dancing. Kellyanne and Anissa get into a shouting match, and this is when I know you were really excited about this scene. Anissa splashes her drink in Kellyanne's face.
Yeah, drink throwing.
So Anissa goes on to talk shit about Kellyanne to everybody else in the club. And Kellyanne mentions that she's an underdog, which, okay, sure, I guess so. Rafi suspects that Anissa is just acting this way because she doesn't want the Veterans Alliance to think that she's with the Rookie Alliance. By the way, I looked it up after these two episodes aired. There are 5 veteran teams and 3 rookie teams left. So I don't know. It doesn't make any sense for Anissa to be going with for them to think that Anissa's with them, because she voted for Rafi. She's the reason Rafi's going into the elimination.
Yeah, the veterans have numbers, so there wouldn't really be any reason for her to switch sides.
Yeah. Also, the Rookie Guys Alliance, I realized as I was taking these notes, super bad at math, because they assumed that if they won over Anissa's vote, that one of them wouldn't have to go into the elimination. But if they had won over Anissa's vote, it still would have been 5-5. They still would have needed another vote to, You get what I'm saying?
It's almost like these people aren't very smart.
I think you're onto something there. Yeah, so Anissa and Kellyanne are fighting, and Anissa tells her that if this were real life, she could take her, which Kellyanne didn't appreciate. Then they continue arguing. There's so much arguing between these two.
This sounds like a lot of arguing.
Anissa says that Kellyanne is 29 and looks 7 years older than her. And Anissa's like 34 or something. Which, that's untrue. She doesn't look 40-some, Kellyanne. She looks about 29. That's a fair assessment. And two, that's a really specific, age to say you look like, oh, you look like you're about 42. 7 years older than you?
You look like you're 37 years old.
You look like you're 37 in 6 months. Your birthday's in 6 more months. Happy half birthday. So, Kellyanne then asks if Anissa looks young because of her black skin, but she doesn't put it that delicately. Oh my god, this was bad. Kellyanne, is pinching at Anissa's cheeks, and repeatedly is saying, "Is that your black skin? Is that your black skin?" And so they keep fighting, obviously. And then Anissa says that Anissa calls Kellyanne a racist anorexic, which is pretty brutal insult. And remember, you know how Anissa has a cousin in this game named Rihanna? She appears in this episode. She hasn't said anything in the 4 or 5 episodes before this, but she finally says something. She says, here's her quote from this episode: "I'm really attached to my cousin." Really? You think so? Yeah. Cool input.
Yeah, where have you been all these episodes if you're so close?
So the house is all looking at the fight between Kellyanne and Anissa. And Kellyanne is talking to the rookie guys and is all upset that Anissa got mad at her for saying what she said. And is like, "Am I right or am I wrong?" And Corey just looks at her and goes, "You're wrong." So later Kellyanne is out on the balcony and is crying, and Mitch is there to comfort her. And he's like, "You're a fan favorite." And she's crying and goes, "I'm not a fan favorite anymore." And it's actually pretty sad. So then it's the next morning, and Kellyanne says that she just wants to keep her distance. And Anissa is just sad that everything happened. And then we move on to the elimination. And Rafi says that he feels he seems confident going into the elimination, which, if we have learned anything from Survivor,
you should never seem or feel confident.
Never ever. On the other side, Corey is psyching up Mitch.
God, it's like it's like, I'm confident and I'm only 2 days away from retirement.
This is my last mission. So then we get to the pit, and Rafi complains to the group, I guess. And he's like, "Everyone backstabbed me." He sounds like Tommy Wiseau.
Everybody betray me. They're using me and I don't care anymore.
Have you seen, did you read The Disaster Artist?
I did, yeah.
It's really good. Have you seen any of the stuff from the movie that they're doing?
Yeah, I don't know if this was confirmed or not, but Seth Rogen posted a poster of it that had Nathan Fielder
Yeah, he's going to be in it.
Yeah, as Peter, the psychologist in the movie.
You always play psychologist.
Always play psychiatrist. But Peter, you have to help me. You are a psychologist. And then when he actually gives
You
advice...
always play psychologist.
Then when he actually gives advice, you always play psychologist.
Is that not what you literally just asked me for?
I think one of my favorite casting decisions in that is June Diane Raphael as the friend or whatever. I can't even remember what the character's name is.
Michelle? Is that her name?
Yeah, as Michelle, which is like
the woman who like comes into their apartment to make out with her boyfriend.
Yeah, it's like absolutely perfect casting. Like I could not have cast a better person. They could not have cast a better person than that.
I just watched The Room recently with Malika, and she did not enjoy it.
What?
And I was like, but aren't you glad you saw it at least? And she was like, no. All right, fine. Yeah, I'm breaking up with her after this, just because of that, which happened
really
like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
The only decent thing.
It's the only option, right? Yeah. So the challenge is there's a big chain that they have to pull. It's like a big tug of war. It kind of goes over a bar and like through some gears, and then there's 2 points, one for each contestant, and when it's marked yellow. So when the yellow mark crosses a yellow line, that person has lost.
Is there like a thing full of like horse manure that they fall into if they lose the tug of war, or like Jello or something?
No, that would have been really great. I wish that they had done that. That would have been a lot more fun. This elimination is the craziest elimination. You think it's pretty easy? Like it's just a tug of war thing, basically. There's some dumb shit happens. So to pump up Rafi before the match, Dario's like, I don't want you to beat him. I want you to embarrass him. These people are friends, by the way. They're like the friendliest people in the game. So the tug of war starts, and everybody's cheering for Mitch. And then Bananas notices that Rafi is just pulling with his arms rather than his entire body weight. What you're supposed to do in a tug of war?
Yeah, like your legs are very important to being able to pull things.
Which, like, Rafi is a big dude. He's got some big arms. But Bananas pointed out, Rafi's arms are not as strong as Mitch's legs. And Mitch is not a huge dude, but, leg power.
Rafi skipped leg day, I guess.
Apparently.
He only does the cosmetic muscle groups. He doesn't do enough squats.
He is a dumb person, so that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, he just does a lot of bicep curls.
Yeah. So, Mitch is finally it's head-to-head, but Mitch is finally gaining on Rafi, but he slips off the mat, and so Rafi takes the advantage and starts pulling Mitch toward the center of the mat, and Dario thinks that Rafi has won, so excitedly he starts jumping around and, jumps into him, but Mitch's mark never hit the line. And so Rafi falls over it, and Mitch picks it up and pulls it back. And Dario yells to TJ, it's like, no, the yellow hit the line. And TJ just calmly goes, no, it didn't.
No, it didn't.
Nope, it didn't. You're wrong. So Mitch starts pulling at Rafi. The yellow crosses the line, and Mitch surprisingly won. So they're walking back to the house, and Bananas asks how it feels to win, and Mitch is like, yeah, it was great. And Bananas is like, better than losing your virginity, right? And Mitch is like, yeah, hell yeah, losing my virginity fucking sucked. Yep, that's how it goes. And then the final episode, or final segment of the Corey and Anissa story this episode, they're, back in the house, Anissa's laying on her bed, and Corey's sitting there talking to her, and they're, talking about their relationship, if you want to call it that. Corey says, we can't be together. I live in L.A. You live in Philly. Really? I don't think Anissa's really looking for something outside of this show, Corey.
It's just logistically, it doesn't make any sense.
You think I'm gonna fly to Philly every weekend?
I won't marry you, Anissa.
Cool. I thought we could just hang out the rest of the game, but if that's what you want to do, sure. Yeah. So that's the end of episode 5. Episode 6. Did Did you watch episode 6? I know you didn't.
No, I just told you I didn't watch either of them.
I know, it's really too bad. You're gonna... I mean, you could skip these two, because we're talking about them now, so it'd be silly to go back and listen to them, or watch them. You're gonna want to watch the next one, and I'll explain why later. So, the episode starts with them all sitting in the house. Oh, by the way, the episode I watched, episode 6, had a recap of episode 5, even though they aired back to back.
I mean, just in case it came in late, I guess.
Yeah. So they're all standing they're on the balcony. They're all on the balcony, and Kellyanne is leading a yoga session. And Bananas is very into Kellyanne's butt, and makes sure everybody knows it, which is gross. It's just gross all around.
No, but she looks like she's 42.
Yeah.
How can she have a good butt?
Squats. And then, in case you didn't know this already, Abram mentions in a talking head that he hates Bananas. Okay, I'll save this note for when you watch the next episode you watch. Just keep an eye on Abram's tattoo. I don't know if you saw it the first episode you watched, but it's terrible. So just keep an eye out for it next time you watch an episode.
I'll be looking for
it. You will not miss it. So Abram is worried that Cara Maria is getting close with Bananas, and tells her not to trust him. And she's like, "Oh no, I don't trust him at all. Don't worry about it." Then in another room, Nany is still talking about Cara Maria and Abram's relationship, and says that she needs to be honest with Abram about Thomas. Okay, this isn't even your storyline. Why are you getting involved, Nany? So then everybody gets together to hear TJ's clue. You know, he always texts them on their T-Mobile sidekick. So Abram reads TJ's clue and then makes some joke about getting naked massages in someone's room, and then points at Thomas and is like, "I'm looking at you," like obviously joking, but everyone kind of just nervously and politely laughs at it.
Please don't make him.
Yeah.
Please leave us alone, Abram.
I feel weird about this whole thing. There's like no one is in the right in this situation. Like Cara Maria cheated on her boyfriend, Thomas cheated on his girlfriend, and Abram seems like a murderer, which I don't like.
No, I generally frown on that.
Not murder. So then when we hear more from the Kellyanne-Anissa feud, and Kellyanne says that she was trying to compliment Anissa for looking young, which is a weird thing to do when you're fighting with someone, but sure, whatever. If you want to clear that all up, coolio.
We'll let you pretend that's what you meant.
Yeah. Whatever floats your boat. So then there's the challenge. Here's the challenge. Everybody wears helmets, and each helmet has a big flat surface.
That's the challenge. Everyone wears helmets.
Who can wear a helmet? Good job, guys. You all win. So the helmets have big flat surfaces on the top, and then there's a big bucket that they drop a ball from, and then they have to carry the bucket. Not the bucket. They have to carry the ball that came out of the bucket on these helmets, and then drop them into a different bucket on the other side of this beach. Once again, the blue team fails miserably, and the red team gets it down immediately. And then Abram says in a talking head, he's like, "Hey, I hate Bananas, but I like working with. We work well together, so I like him in challenges." All right, cool.
Yeah,
so the red team
potassium's
wins.
pretty key for hydration, so I understand.
You make that banana joke every time.
Yeah, every time, without exception.
That's fair. I get it. So the red team wins, and then Jamie on the blue team says that there are people on his team who are too proud to listen, which seems like a quote they would put in an episode because it comes back later in the season. I guess we'll see about that. Then we get to the blue team deliberation. Kellyanne volunteers herself, and Nany says that she only did that to avoid the embarrassment of everyone saying her name. Which, sure, fine, whatever you say, Nany. So Vince suggests that the red team votes in Jenna, and Jenna expects them to vote her in, but Nany thinks that she will be voted in. And the red team deliberates. And Abram wants to throw in Nany, but Anthony says that Kellyanne wants to go up against Anissa. What a surprise. And then we get to the voting section. Kellyanne volunteers herself for the blue team. Oh, God. I forgot about this whole subplot. Just listen to this. Okay, Bananas. His name is Bananas, not Banana.
Johnny Banana.
Johnny Banana. Bananas, whose closest ally this far in the game has been Nany, votes for Nany because that's what his team is doing. And Nany says that it would have shown character for him to not say her name. Which is, what? Okay, sure, fine. I don't follow your logic, Nany. I think you just don't want people to vote for you, but whatever.
Anyone who votes for her is a bad person, Jake.
Well, everyone voted for her on the red team, including her cousin Nicole.
Whoa!
Because, as Nicole put it, she's a sarcastic asshole. All right. You know who's really good at sarcasm? People who don't have to tell you that they're sarcastic.
Yep.
That's what I've found in life. Anybody who mentions that they're sarcastic or hilarious generally isn't.
I'm funny, because I tell you all the time.
Yeah. Still don't like Nicole. So, back in the house, Cara Maria tells everyone, especially the rookies, not to trust Bananas. Okay. Nany says that she felt that she was made a fool of. And then Banana passes through Nicole and Nany's room, and Nicole tells him to eat a bag of dicks because she's so sarcastic and hilarious. Isn't that such a funny thing to say to someone?
Yeah, good one. Your entirely original thing that you said that was never said by a
never
very
heard
famous...
that one
Yeah,
before.
Never said in a very famous stand-up special by a famous stand-up comedian.
Who... Did that joke originate from a particular person?
I'm not sure if Louis C.K. originated saying eat a bag of dicks, but I think he popularized it.
Okay. It seems like just something that people who don't know how to think, it's something they would say. So then we go out to the club again. Isn't that a good time?
All right, 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, I know. It's super exciting. Cara Maria tells her cousin Jamie that she feels bad about the whole Thomas thing. Yep. Good job. Would you feel that bad if your boyfriend hadn't shown up?
Probably not. You'd probably still be doing it.
Yep. And Nany mentions that everything she's done in this game was to benefit Bananas, which is dumb. Like, she's dumb for doing that. Should be to benefit her, right? That's how you're supposed to play this game.
I get $100,000 if Bananas wins, right?
Well, Anissa says that. I think she still has a thing for him. But Nany says, I am done with Johnny Bananas. No, you're not. Shut up, Nany.
So their couple name would be Nany Bananas, right?
Well, I don't know if you knew this, but they did date at one point.
So was there a couple named Nany Bananas?
I think their couple name was Nany.
That's much worse.
Well, we're dealing with stupid people. So then they get back to the house, and Banana explains to Nany that he didn't want to be watching this episode with his girlfriend and have her see that he was the only person to not vote for Nany. Well, like, what? Like, that's not a thing. Like, dude,
we have to talk.
Is she so insecure that she doesn't understand alliances in a game like this? But whatever. If that's his excuse, fine.
I don't know, women, man. Dames always being so jealous all the time.
Can't live with them. Can't live without them. Is that the quote from The Room that Johnny says? Not Johnny, the other one. Mark.
What does he say? Can't...
Oh, no, he says, women, man, sometimes they're great.
Sometimes they're evil, and other times they're just crazy.
Yeah. So Anthony pumps up Kellyanne for her elimination by telling her what might be the worst pump-up speech ever. He says, "We get to the final, we win. We just have to get there." You have to cover a lot of ground before you get to the final, Anthony.
Yeah, you make that sound a little easier.
There's still like 9 other teams around. So we get to the pit. This is the dumbest elimination challenge. So there's 2 tracks, one for each person, and at the end of each track is a hanging mattress, and behind each mattress is a bell. So they have to run into the mattress and hit the bell. They have to do that 50 times. And before starting the match, or whatever you want to call it, Kellyanne mentions that she has a bit of a chest cold. So things like breathing are a bit difficult for her. So they start the game, and Nany runs into the first mattress and doesn't reach the bell. Like, it's built in a way that if you run into the mattress, you'll hit the bell, and Nany still misses it somehow. So she goes in again at that first mattress and still misses it. She is not doing well. So Kellyanne pulls ahead, but she's running a little slow because of her cold. And Nany, as she's catching up, mentions in a talking head, she's like, "When I come back, I will make sure Bananas doesn't have a leg to stand on." But Nany lost, like so...
Leg? Like his leg was like a banana.
He just walks around with 2 bananas for legs.
That's why they call me Johnny Bananas.
I think you need to go to a doctor.
Always been very tempted to eat them.
But then I couldn't walk. Is it more ridiculous for him to have 1 banana as each leg, or have like 5 bananas for each foot for like toes?
Wait, what? Ever had bananas for toes?
I mean, I think that like a bunch of bananas would be the whole foot, but then there would be 5 of them because, like, each toe has a bone structure, and there's there's 5 of them.
Here's my counter on that one. Why can't it be both?
That's a good point. It's a really he has
banana legs with bunches of bananas for feet.
So his toes are as long as his legs.
Well, no, he's got it's like a large. It's like a plantain is his leg.
And then like those really, really small, unripe bananas for his toes.
Yeah, like the mini banana bunches. That's what he has for feet.
But then he still has like a really ripped torso and arms.
Yeah.
But then is like 2 feet tall because of the plantain legs. There's another
torso. He can't move very fast.
There's another Johnny who from the real world who's been on a couple challenges, and they call him Riley because that's his last name. But I hope on the next challenge he comes on, he goes by Johnny Plantains.
That's good.
Yeah. So Nany says that when she comes back, Bananas won't have a leg to stand on, but she loses, so sucks to suck, Nany. Kellyanne wins, and Anissa is annoyed. And then Nany says in her exit interview, now that I'm gone, Banana has no one in the house. But you just implied that if you had come back, that he would have no one in the house. So, what are you getting at, Nany?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It wouldn't help him either way. This last challenge sounds like one that Jeff Probst calling it would have been fun.
Oh God, can you imagine? It's always so boring when there's nothing going on in a challenge on Survivor when it's really basic.
There's enough failure that he'd get like some good digs in at Nany.
Oh yeah, yeah.
A third time, Nany unable to do whatever the stupid thing with the mattress was.
You push a mattress.
Yeah.
That's your goal. Is push a mattress far enough to reach a bell.
Nany really struggling with the mattress.
Nany struggling with the easiest thing we've ever done in this show. Bananas sees Nany going home as beneficial to him. So I'm not sure where anyone's allegiances lie at this point in the game. Before the episode ends, though, everybody goes back to the house, and Anthony tells Bananas that everybody's trying to turn on you. And Banana's like, hey, dude, don't worry about it. I've been in much more precarious situations against much scarier dudes. It takes a lot to get rid of me. And then they show a promo of next week. CT and Zach are coming back.
Oh, no!
Yep. So you gotta watch that one. Are you gonna watch it?
Yeah, I'm planning on it. If I can get around, if I can find somewhere to watch it, I think that'll help.
Yeah, it should be a good one.
Exciting. Who's the favorite right now to win, do you think?
Well, I'm not sure how they're gonna do the final. I'm not sure if it's gonna be team-based, like with the teams they have now, or if they're gonna bring people back with their bloodline for them to compete in the final. I would think that it would be a team game or team challenge or mission or whatever they call it, because it's mixed gender teams for the bloodlines. So it might be easier with the teams, the red and blue teams. But the whole thing is the bloodline connection, so it would make sense that they would keep the bloodlines in the finals together, but I'm not sure. We'll have to stay tuned to find out. If it's bloodlines, I think who's left that's any good, really? Probably Corey and Mitch are doing all right. Thomas and Steven are probably going to do all right. I would say Bananas and Vince, but I think people are gunning for them at this point.
I got a new favorite for you. CT.
Who's that? CT and his girlfriend's sister.
They're
Not really
win.
a bloodline, but okay. I don't know what they're going to do with them. I don't know if they're going to be contestants or if they're just going to be in like one challenge.
If they're only in one challenge, they're still gonna win the whole thing.
The twist on this challenge is if CT wins, he wins the whole show. Well, can't argue with that.
So before we go, I have an episode title that they should use.
Oh, okay.
Bloodline Bling.
That's really stupid.
I mean, it's better than most of their titles.
What? This week's titles were A House Divided and Dirty Little Secret. I'll tell you my dirty little secret.
God. This is our new segment. Jake sings All American Rejects. It's a really good one.
It's only going to be that 3 seconds of that one song. That's everything I know.
Jake's going to sing Move Along next week.
Move along every time a little bit of again. Oh, that's Turnaround.
You do not know how that song goes.
I don't know what that song is. I've never heard it before.
Move Along was their biggest hit.
I thought their biggest hit was Dirty Little Secret because it's the only one I can remember.
No, their biggest hit was Move Along. That was a much bigger hit on that album.
How does that one go?
Like, when all you gotta keep it strong, move along, just to make it...
Oh, I didn't realize that was the same people.
Yeah, it is. Man, we're getting a lot of bad singing in this week.
There were too many bands in that era that had, like, 1 or 2 hits. And they were all hits in, like, the same 2 weeks.
Yep.
So it's easy to get them confused. My favorite was Ocean Avenue by Yellowcard.
Oh, Yellowcard. Yellowcard's they're still touring on that shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I was more of a Hawthorne Heights guy.
Oh, God. Which one
Ohio is for
Hawthorne
lovers.
Bad name. Because no, it's not. Ohio is for people who never left Ohio.
Yeah. What is... They had that one, and they had another one. I can't remember what the other song was.
Did one of those bands have a song about a hotel?
Possibly, I don't know. Hotel California. Remember the Eagles? They only had like 1 or 2 hits around then.
Yeah. It's actually just Eagles, not the Eagles. Aren't they one of those bands?
I don't think that's true.
I think it is, actually. You bring up episode titles. Do you want to hear the title of the next 2 episodes?
Sure.
So January 6th, the episode is called Blood Brothers. Do you get it?
Yeah.
That's when you cut your hand open and your friend cuts their hand open, and then you shake hands, and then you both get HIV.
Yeah. No, I'm aware. There was a band called Blood Brothers. They were like an emo band.
I remember them.
Well-regarded emo band.
Yeah. They were the Hawthorne Heights of their day.
Oh, how dare you take that away?
AFI?
Hawthorne Heights were the Hawthorne Heights of their day.
Remember AFI?
Not have you sullying their good name.
But AFI, though?
Oh, God, AFI! Miss Murder's a pretty good song.
Is it?
I don't know. Sure.
Okay.
That and Girls Not Grey were their 2 hits.
Oh, okay. I honestly forgot. I wouldn't have been able to get either of those. I remember the dude with the long white hair, like that was super straight, standing on a roof, and they all wore suits, and that's about all I can remember from that band.
They had an album. The album that preceded Miss Murder was called "Sing the Sorrow."
Of course it was. Oh, I forgot. All those bands were super into alliteration. For the January 13th episode, you might like this one because it rhymes. Blood is thicker than mud.
I don't care for that. I'm not in favor of that one at all.
That's fair. I understand why you feel that way. So tune in next week when this show happens again.
Yeah.
Yep. That's my forward.
The Blood Brothers are going to perform next week. Should be fun.
That's just an hour-long set. I'll just plug my other podcast called The Crash Test Podcast. I almost said Did You Watch Survivor last night? That's this one. That's what this show's called. The other one's called The Crash Test Podcast. Look it up in iTunes. Subscribe and rate it. And that would be nice.
Don't forget to rate and subscribe us, by the way.
Yeah, if you're not doing that, get the fuck on it.
Leave us a review or whatever. Or
yeah,
don't.
5 stars, please. 5 stars or don't do it at all.
Yeah, only 5 stars. 4 stars is not good enough.
Yeah, okay, that's it for the show.
Alright, bye. Have a great summer.
Alright, have a great summer, everybody. Bye.
If I get murdered in the city, go read the letter in my desk. Don't bother with all my belongings, but pay attention to the list. Make sure my sister knows I loved her. Make sure my mother knows the same. Always remember there was nothing worth sharing like the love that let us share our name. Always remember there was nothing worth sharing like the love that let us share our name.